Happy New Year's Eve to everybody.
Happy New Year's Eve, people. Hope everyone's having an amazing holiday season.
We have almost made it through 2025, Jack. Can you believe it?
We are like 1 foot over the ledge, like right there. We're almost there.
Let's use a different metaphor than a ledge.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought of that.
So we're going to jump right in and talk about next year. We were talking about 2026 being the money era for women's basketball.
So many women's athletes are going to start making real money. And that's going to be a huge shift in a lot of different things. And I think we'll dive into all of that. But first and foremost, it just makes me think about how are these athletes preparing for this huge financial jump, right? Because we've never experienced anything like this before. My mind just naturally goes to financial literacy, right? And like, what do you do with all this money? Do you have the right people in your orbit that are going to help you make the right decisions? Do you have a financial advisor? Do you have good agency representation? Do you have good family around you that's telling you, what to do and advise you on what to do? And what are you going to do in your off season, right? Like there's going to be so many different options for women's athletes now. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Anytime there's more money involved, the stakes are just higher in all ways, right? Women still make 80 cents to the dollar that men make, but that is going to change. And sports are an important cultural pillar of society to help drive larger trends across industry. I think that, yes, salaries are one important part of this story, but also leverage. I thought a lot about history of the WNBA in the last 4 years. And you and I talked about this in the very earliest parts of Clack, part of the 2020 bubble when Black Lives Matter was going on. And the WNBA, the women really took a stand.
Right.
And these women stand up for what's right. And they have so much leverage, not just in pay and equity, but their voices and the change that they can make.
Yeah.
And that really stood out to me this week when I saw Alicia Clark comment. She wrote this whole post about flipping a Senate seat back in the day with the Atlanta Dream owner who made some abhorrent comments. And it just reminded me, these women have been innovating and standing up for what's right since the beginning. So that leverage, it goes far beyond salary, in my opinion. And so I was curious to ask you, because you were part of the 2020 bubble season, what was that like back then?
I think that year was so powerful for the WNBA, especially when everyone was stuck in a bubble, right? And we were stuck in one place. So everyone was kind of just advocating together and taking a stand together in a physical space. It was amazing because we were all just collaborating and having like big league meetings right then and there and making crucial decisions and making crucial statements together as a league, as a whole. So it was just a really amazing time to be in the WNBA and be a WNBA athlete because that's a moment in history, and so many things happened that year, good and bad. But I think the way that the WNBA has always showed up, we've led by example, we've set trends, and we've taken accountability, we've taken action, and we've, laid in the bed that we made.
I genuinely believe that the WNBA is setting the tone for women, not just for sports. And I hope that what women learned from the last 4 years of the W, and no doubt what's to come, because we are not done with CBA. We don't really know what's going to happen. There's obviously a lot of predictions that there's going to be a strike.
Lots of chitter chatter.
But the scale of salaries and leverage is just fascinating to me right now.
You think about the men. The men for so long have made a lot of money. So you don't see men having to be out there on the marketing side like the way the women have. Because as we know, there's a stat that we've talked about on this podcast a lot of times. I think it's like 80% of income for women's athletes come from off court or off field, whereas 20% comes on court, in field, and that's flipped on the men's side. So now we're going to see a shift there on the women's side. It's going to be more balanced. And what I'm really excited about is now women can start businesses. They can do things outside of, just making money, right? And doing marketing deals and doing brand deals and all these amazing extra things on the side. But now they can actually invest their money and open businesses because women are so innovative, right?
I didn't even think, Jack, about what might happen in the off season where these athletes can start businesses.
Yeah.
And that is going to drive more economic impact for everyone, not just for these athletes, right?
More women's owners, more women investing in other companies that they believe in. It's just, you're going to see that. I really think you're going to see that because women know how to utilize their time. They know how to use, hopefully utilize their money in the right places where they're passionate about.
Well, oftentimes to compare, like for a parallel, right? I listen to Pivot, which is Scott Galloway and Kara Swisher, obsessed with both of them. But they always talk about the difference in billionaires, the actions of billionaire men versus billionaire women. Billionaire women are very quiet with what they do, and they invest across a lot of landscapes. A lot of the billionaire men are very loud about investing. Look at space travel, look at all these different things, right? I'm very curious to see, as women gain more wealth in this industry, what it looks like. Is it a quiet thing? Is it a loud thing? I think the storytelling will be key, right? Because that's how we engage more women and inspire more women and people, everyone, right? When you put more wealth equally across the genders, you will see a difference in how things come to life.
I think brands have been able to come in at such a low cost with these athletes, right? Because they know they're not making bread like that. Now it's going to be a different scenario, a different case. If you want Asia Wilson, or if you want, Caitlin Clark or Sabrina Ionescu or whoever on, to represent your brand, you're going to have to pay them. You're going to have to pay them real money. And I think you're going to start seeing these longer term partnerships with these brands versus these smaller one-off deals. Those are still going to exist, don't get me wrong, because women are always going to work hard for their money, but I just think that is also going to change, and that's going to be super interesting.
Well, especially with the timelines of wealth generation changing. So what we haven't talked about, and again, we alluded to this in our previous episode, but with NIL completely changing the landscape for college and for wealth distribution earlier, we're entering a generation of player-led everything for women, right? Like player-led businesses, player-led media, player-led social media. That's going to add even more pressure for these brands to come in as early as possible with these players. And my hope is that the players, and we've seen this happen in a lot of ways where there are great brand partnerships and there is not great brand partnerships. Yeah. And my hope is that these players will really, now that they have more leverage and more wealth, they will really think about where they're putting their brands. What are the brands that...
Sorry, really quick. Before, they were just selling their soul, to make a dime, to make a dollar, to make income, and doing something that they're not even really behind like that, right? Because that's what they needed to do.
It's a great point. I said this on the last episode. I'm going to say it again. Women should stop feeling grateful to earn what we deserve, and even, we talk about this all the time with money, and you coach me a lot on that. I never learned how to negotiate. I never learned how to ask for the right amount for what I really truly deserve. I am so hopeful that what's happening in the WNBA and women's sports as a whole, because we know a lot of the other emerging sports are so far behind as far as pay equity goes. Even in base salaries for the NWSL, there's so much growth opportunity there. But the greatest opportunity is to teach the next generation. What do we do with this power? With great wealth comes more responsibility, comes more power, all of those things that we need to show the next generation of girls and boys and everybody that this is what it looks like to do it the right way. And I think that's what you and I are very invested in our business, right?
Everything is on the rise. Things are getting more complicated with more money, more problems, right? So you think about all the changes that are about to happen. CBA negotiations right now. The CBA is going to change. Rules are going to change. Money is higher. Contracts are going to be so serious and so important in these athletes' lives that cannot be messed with. You can't just have your family signing off or looking over a document for you. You need to have real legal representation, someone who knows how to dissect a contract and protect you.
So Jack, it feels like there's just a really big power shift coming in 2026. So we better all buckle up.
Buckle up. Yeah, but we're about to be on a fun ride, and I'm excited to see how everything shakes out and what what athletes are going to start to do with their money, honestly, and their brands.
Absolutely. And I do want to call out something that's related. We didn't really talk about coaches' roles in this, but coaches are obviously such an important part of this journey and have, I think, even bigger opportunities themselves from a press, from a brand, beyond just like what you would typically see or expect from a coach. I think coaches are going to become a lot more prolific in storytelling. And I do want to just acknowledge Lindsay Gottlieb and her after the USC game. You went to that game, right? UConn and USC.
Yeah, Lindsay Gottlieb, for sure. She had an incredible post-game speech.
Yeah, and what we're referring to is that same day there was an unfortunate mass shooting at Brown University, which was her alma mater, where she played basketball. And to come out into a press conference and experience that, I can't even imagine the emotions you're feeling. You're checking your texts, getting all of these messages from family, friends, teammates who are experiencing this firsthand. And, I've just noticed also a trend with these coaches, especially women coaches, they are also standing up for what's right and what they believe in during these press conference moments. And that's ultimately what drives the headlines, not the games. Yeah. I think that's going to be a much bigger platform of the future where more people are. I'm watching the press conferences now, Jack. I never watched press conferences, post-game press conferences, because I want to hear what these women have to say.
Yeah.
And so I was really moved by her speech, and I can't imagine how much pressure and the feelings she was going through in that moment.
For sure. I mean, look, they have the same platform, if not a bigger platform than the players do, and it's their opportunity to also shed light and talk about things, maybe not just within the confines of the game, but stuff outside the game too. And I think Lindsay Gottlieb did that. Obviously she was emotionally moved by it because it was close to her and it was her alma mater. But I think it's just like, it was a good time to really sit there and pause and say, like, it's bigger than basketball. Basketball, winning a game, losing a game, that's not everything, and they just got smacked by UConn. So like, she could have went in that press conference and just like ripped her team to shreds and said this or that. But no, she was like, this is more important to me right now. And this is really affecting me. And I'm going to say something because it deserves to be said. So yeah, shout out to her. And I'm also excited to see how, all these amazing coaches are going to show up in their press conferences because it's a good platform for them to also say what they got to say and get stuff off their chest.
Yeah, and now we're just going to have even more places to watch coaches and players have these perspectives. And let's switch gears to talk about Unrivaled because they just had media day.
The entertainment that's coming out of the social content from like the videos, the dances, the banter, the relationships that are forming and building, like it's been their social and their content strategy over there is top notch.
It's like the WNBA, I feel it still has a lot of room for growth and sort of a overall fresh feeling rebrand. There's some franchises that we've talked about that we feel like stand out beyond others, and it's hard to manage a franchise system like that.
Right.
Unrivaled feels like it was built by Millennial and Gen Z. And I think that is, you can see it. You can see it in the content. You can see it in the naming of the teams, right? Like these fresh, like the Team Breeze. It's just, and then, obviously they're signing so much of the league.
90% of the players that played in Unrivaled last year came back again this year.
Got it. Okay. And then they added new people, right?
Yeah, and then they added some people. They also added 2 new teams. So it went from 6 teams to 8 teams now. Mm-hmm. So the league is expanding. More players are in it. Great players are in it. Players that are probably, happy to be there, feel lucky to be there, are getting an opportunity because they added a couple more teams. I mean, it's just great. It's great vibes. And I love to see just all the relationships that are forming on social media that you could see. And I think that's going to be so fun to just like watch and just like, you're so entertained, like not only is it going to be great basketball, but it's fun and it's entertaining.
Do you like watching 3-on-3?
Yeah, I had a conversation about this recently, just about 3-on-3 versus 5-on-5, and I think there's a lot of pros and cons to both. And I think depending on who you're talking to, players and fans prefer 5-on-5. Players and fans prefer 3-on-3. I think some players really thrive in that 3-on-3 setting. It's also a setting where you can't hide, right? So if you're playing 5-on-5, defensively, you could be hidden. If you're not a great defensive player, you could be hidden in that mix of 10 people. But if you're playing 3-on-3, you're fully exposed. So there's no hiding on that. And I think that's the interesting part about it, because it really puts a lot of pressure on you to be able to perform as a player in that 3-on-3 setting. It's also probably a little bit harder on your body too, because there's less people, right? So you're moving around a lot more. I probably prefer 5-on-5 just because I know I was that player. I needed to be hidden, you needed to hide my ass. Otherwise, I was going to get blown by, so I could, go hide in the corner or something. But I don't know.
Imagine you being hidden.
You need to hide my ass so that, I don't get exposed defensively.
Huh. But I
don't have a fucking clue what you're talking about.
No, I just love hearing you talk about the game because I'm not an expert, and it's such a different style. And I'm gonna be watching Unrivaled and the WNBA next year, and I'm just excited. But I do think that the media around Unrivaled is just sexy. You can't pull your eyes away from it. I just had this thought where I feel like when Unrivaled launched, it had a little vibe like All-Star, where it was like really glamorous, very like profile, high profile players. But now it's turning into, I think, a real league where there's more depth. There's more teams. They're adding a fourth night of games. Like, it's really becoming, it's going to become a really big competitor to the WNBA. I really think that. And you can just tell by how the players show up at Unrivaled, because it was developed by players. It was like, this is a whole business built by players, like going back to the business point, right?
Right.
And it just shows, don't you think?
For sure. And, I think the great thing about Unrivaled is obviously it's not during the same time as the WNBA. So players are going to get to play both if they want and really maximize their earnings. Also, when you have a 6-month off season, like you want to play, so, and the fact that Unrivaled is only like 4 or 5 weeks, that's another upside. You're not like just banging your body for months on end. Like, there is a very short window to get to play, compete, make a lot of money, build your social content, build your brands. It's just, it's a great idea. What they're doing is phenomenal.
If you look at the evaluation too of Unrivaled, obviously we're seeing the momentum play out on social media, storytelling, fan growth, but also from a financial and economic perspective, Unrivaled has grown to, I think it's about a $300 million valuation, which is up there with some of the top franchises in the WNBA in 1 year. Now it's the sequel year. So that kind of momentum, that's extraordinary from an economic perspective. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see where Unrivaled goes next.
I agree. I'm a fan.
Big fan. I really want to go to a game together. I think it'd be so fun.
Oh my God. I'm gonna be at the home opener. I wish you were gonna be right next to me, right on the side.
No, I'm always watching you from afar. All right, let's switch gears, and we're gonna do a couple fun questions here. I love these because I feel like you and I learn so much when we do these blind rankings.
Yeah, and I always get upset because I'm like, I'm not answering shit right.
I feel like after one more year of doing the podcast, we're going to be so good at trivia.
We're just going to have hella knowledge on sports in general. People are going to be like, how the fuck do you know that?
I know. Okay, so let's start with your quiz for me.
Okay, I got a good one for you. You ready for this?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay, Elle, what are the 5 most expensive stadiums in the world? And if you guess 3 right, I will give you $1,000.
You are going to give me $1,000?
I'm going to give you $1,000.
You're all, because I know your ass is not going to get any of these right.
You ain't getting any of them right. I'll be very surprised if you get 1 right. Actually, no, I'm going to give you 1. I think you'll get 1 right.
So I think Barclays is 1 in New York.
No.
Really? Okay, I'm gonna guess a European stadium. I'm gonna say like the Premier League, one of the Premier League stadiums.
So
am I in a zone? And am I I am in a zone.
You're in a zone.
Okay, and is
But
this
you have
men
to,
or
but you have
women?
to name one. You have to
I have to
name it.
name
You
it.
can't just say, "Oh, maybe there's one in the UK."
What about where LA plays? Like the Lakers play and the Sparks. What about the Rams, where the Rams play?
Do they
Oh, it's got to
play?
be an NFL stadium. It's what am I thinking? Basketball. It's got to be an NFL stadium, right? Like the Rams stadium?
I mean, where do the Rams play?
I don't know what the name is.
All I know is that it's SoFi Stadium.
SoFi
So
Stadium.
maybe
Okay.
that's where they play. So we'll give you that one. Fine, I'll just give it to you.
Oh, I got one.
So you're
Yay.
one out
Okay.
of two. So Barclays was wrong. So what else?
Okay, what about the Kansas City Chiefs stadium?
Nope.
What about a stadium in Toronto? Girl, I don't know any stadium names.
Okay, so I'm gonna just read them off. I mean, you
Just
did
read them
really
off.
good
I
because
got 0 out of
you're
5
in
on
the
this one.
right like geographic location on a lot of them, which is really good. Like, good job.
Okay. I'll
So
give
it's
myself that.
SoFi Stadium, Olympic Stadium in Montreal, Canada. Like, who would have known that? I wouldn't have known. Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. Wouldn't have known that. Wembley Stadium in London, the UK.
Okay.
And then MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Like, who would have known? I would have
So,
never guessed any of these.
so is it 3 out of the 5 in the US then? Are the most expensive stadiums in the world?
Yes.
Damn. Okay,
Yeah.
that was a hard one. That was a
Yeah.
hard
No,
one.
that was hella hard, but you
But
did really good. So I don't have to give you
Ooh.
$1,000. It's all I care about.
I mean, yeah, you're not going to give me $1,000. That's fine.
I would have.
I also wouldn't have taken it from you.
That would have hurt. No, I would have. Anytime I make a bet, girl, I'm here for it.
Jackie takes bets very seriously.
I do, because if I win a bet, I fully expect you to pay up. That's how we roll.
Hey, up. Okay, well this my question's for you. We're gonna do blind rankings on mascots. This is gonna be way easier. So
Okay.
I'm very glad there's no money associated with this because I would
Mhm.
have to give you money. So
That is true. You would, and I would
um,
take it.
all right. So let's start with Benny the Bull. 1 to 5.
5,
The Oregon Duck.
2,
Ellie the Elephant.
1,
The Stanford Tree.
4,
The Philly Fanatic.
3. I love my rankings. I love them.
You
Ellie
did
the
that thing,
Elephant,
girl.
1 for sure.
Oh,
No doubt. Oregon
1
Duck, I love the Oregon Duck.
1,000. You did a great job.
I
I'm proud
did.
of you.
I'm really proud of me too. I killed that.
You freaking held out. Okay, I love that for you. Well, we're coming to, not just to the end of our episode, but also the year.
Oh my
I'm
God.
about to go to a holiday party with my kids.
I am about to go see the ball drop. I mean,
Oh,
potentially go see the ball drop.
I want you and Carla to kiss in Times Square under the ball drop. That's
Girl,
epic.
you already know it's gonna happen. A
You
little
guys are gonna have the
romantic
most.
smooch.
You guys are gonna have the most insane Instagram kiss. Like I already know.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a whole thing, as we know. If anyone knows us, it's a whole thing.
I mean, the difference between how Nick and I take photos together and you and Carla, it's legitimately night and day.
Well, yeah, but Nick's also a man, and we're two women, so we're those emotions. We're very extra.
You guys always look stunning though, and I'm like, why don't our photos look like this? Although our
do.
Halloween photo
No, you
was
guys look hell.
beautiful.
You guys always look good.
I know. We're
And you
cute.
bring your two little kitties on the side, and it's just so
Oh,
cute. You're a little fan.
those two, they're nuts so. Well, before we jump into our last section, which is always my favorite section on Coach's Corner, and I want to let's manifest for 2026, Jack. What are you manifesting for 2026?
All I know is in 2026, I want to show up for the people that show up for me. Take care of those who take care of you. And I think that is just always my motto. And like every year, I just want to become a better person, a more grounded person, and just a better friend, partner, daughter, sister, all the things.
I love that. I think that's beautiful. And I think as you get older, showing up for the people that show up for you is the best mentality. My 2026 manifestation is I want to make more money for our business.
Girl, Mike.
That's hard for me to say. That's hard for me to say out loud because I don't like talking about money, but
Dropping the ball.
I believe in us and I believe in women. I believe in innovation And I think we have so much ahead of us that we don't even have out in the world yet. For everybody who's listening, we're dropping a few crumbs here for some really exciting things that are going to come. But I want to see more wealth for women in 2026. I think, again, 2025 was the year that started to like especially in sports, really started to shift, right? With billionaires coming in to invest in women and all of this stuff. And I really think there's a big turn coming for wealth for women. So I want to be part of that curve because I also want to give back to women.
100%. I think you are fully entering your entrepreneur boss lady era in 2026. Not that you weren't in 2025, you were just getting your feet wet, but I'm manifesting for you like total boss energy. Like, yes, I think that is going to happen. I think it's coming, girl. That's all I got to say. Things are big things on the horizon in 2026.
And I want everybody to know that the reason normally I wouldn't bring up money as the thing. I would bring up health, family, care, boundaries, all these things that I think about every single day. But if we put more wealth in the pockets of women, the world will change for the better.
I agree.
And that's why I bring it up. And it's so uncomfortable. Even after I said it, I had a moment of pause. I was like, shit, I shouldn't have said that.
It's real.
Like,
it's
that's
real.
real. Like that's the opportunity here.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we're
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Well, you've helped me really own that side of myself that that has always been suppressed. And I think it's super, super important. So, all right.
Well, you're blossoming into the baddest, like, boss bitch. So here we are.
The kindest, baddest boss bitch.
Literally. You're perfect.
Jacki always reminds me that I need to keep my soul. So
your soul is intact, though. You have the sweetest soul.
Keep that soul intact. All right, let's do a quick coach's corner.
I'm gonna make it quick. Last night I was at a holiday party and I saw someone at the party that was sitting in a corner by themselves, not really talking to people, not really mingling with people. And I am always attracted to those type of people. Those are the people that I love to be around. I love to talk to. I love to get to know them, know their story. So I had the most amazing conversation with this woman, and I'm so happy that I invited her over to come sit with where we were sitting. She brought so much life and so much joy and so much great conversation to to everyone. And I was just so grateful for her and so happy that I met her. I just want to say, like, if you ever see someone that you feel like they're, by themselves or they're out of place, take that step and take that, little piece of faith and go and talk to them and just like be curious and want to be around them and just like bring them into your circle, because I'm telling you, it made her night and it's going to make everyone's night. You never know what people are going through. Just be a nice person and be there for people, and you're going to get so much back in return.
Oh, what a great coach's corner for the end of 2026. I feel like someday we're going to make a book of all of your coach's corner sayings and phrases, because
I don't know why we just do my coach's corner, because you're such a beautiful human too. Like, you have so many good things to say as well. So maybe our book will be both of our little coach's corner.
I think so, but I can't wait for what's ahead for us next year, and for women and for sports and women's sports specifically, and just youth. Like, we want youth. We want more capital to be in youth. We want more power to go to the youth, because those are the people that are going to lead and make change for this world in a really positive way. I'm really honored that we can go on this journey together. And I just want to say Happy New Year, and I love you.
Happy holiday and Happy New Year's to everyone, especially you, my friend. And I just want to leave everyone with, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on all of our channels, which include YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. We love you guys. We appreciate y'all. Happy New Year. Have the best New Year's possible. And yeah, let's wrap it up.
Love you guys.